Are you preparing for D-PSC-MN-01 Dell PowerScale maintenance exam? In this video, you can study D-PSC-MN-01 exam guides. The D-PSC-MN-01 exam focuses on essential topics related to Dell PowerScale systems, evenly divided across 4 key areas, each contributing 25% to the overall content. PowerScale hardware concepts emphasizes understanding the architecture, components, and foundational principles of PowerScale systems. PowerScale hardware maintenance covers skills required to ensure optimal performance through effective troubleshooting, upgrades, and ongoing support. PowerScale hardware installation highlights the best practices for deploying and configuring hardware to meet organizational needs. Lastly, PowerScale Implementation examines the integration and management of PowerScale solutions within diverse IT environments. Together, these topics equip professionals with comprehensive knowledge to manage PowerScale systems effectively. To prepare effectively for the D-PSC-MN-01 exam, it is essential to focus on key strategies. Start by thoroughly understanding the exam overview, including the objectives and distribution of topics, such as hardware concepts, maintenance, installation, and implementation. This ensures a clear grasp of what to expect. Engaging with the Dell EMC forum can provide valuable insights, as it allows candidates to connect with experts, access resources, and discuss challenges with peers. Finally, practicing D-PSC-MN-01 exam questions is crucial to build familiarity with the question format, improve time management, and identify areas for improvement. Together, these steps create a strong foundation for success. A platform engineer has built the rack for a Dell EMC PowerScale cluster. While unpacking the components, the engineer notices that the shock watch meter has been activated. A. Deactivate the shock watch meter. B. Reset the shock watch meter. C. Contact Dell EMC PowerScale technical support. D. Proceed with unpacking the components. The correct answer is C. Because the shock watch meter is a device used to detect if a package has been mishandled during shipping, such as experiencing impact or excessive shock. If the shock watch meter is activated, it indicates possible damage to the components. The appropriate action is to contact Dell EMC PowerScale technical support to report the condition and receive guidance on how to proceed. This ensures the safety and integrity of the equipment before installation. Proceeding with unpacking without verification could lead to issues with potentially damaged components. Dell EMC technical support has requested a part to be sent directly back to Dell Logistics to be studied. Which process or document needs to be completed prior to sending the part back? A. WWF. B. CDMR. CDMR. D. WWFA. The correct answer is C. Because when Dell EMC technical support requests that a part be returned directly to Dell Logistics for analysis, the appropriate process to follow is the Direct Material Return, DMR. This process involves completing the necessary documentation to ensure the part is properly tracked and handled upon return. The DMR process is essential for maintaining accurate records and facilitating the analysis of returned components. An SSD has failed in Node 1 in a Dell EMC PowerScale F200 cluster. After replacing the drive, which command should be run to ensure the node has finished updating? A. ISI devices D. B. ISI status H. C. ISI devices device list node in 1. D. ISI status Q. The correct answer is A. Because the command ISI devices D is used to verify the status of the devices within the cluster, including disks. After replacing an SSD in a node, such as node 1, this command provides detailed information about the status of all the devices, including if the newly replaced drive has finished updating and resynchronizing with the cluster. The other options are not suitable for this specific purpose. B. ISI status H. This command provides an overview of the status of the cluster, but it doesn't give detailed information about individual devices. C. ISI devices device list node lane 1. This command is close but incorrect in syntax. It's also not the standard command to use in this situation. D. ISI status Q. This provides a quick status overview of the cluster, but it won't give specific details regarding the status of devices like the SSD. What should the platform engineer pre-check when installing Dell EMC PowerScale Gen 6 nodes in a customer-provided rack? A. PDUs are located on opposite sides of the rack. B. Rack is leveled using the front legs first and the rear legs second. C. Rack has full earth ground and is properly bolted to the floor. D. Rack has a minimum of 2 PDUs. The correct answer is C. Because before installing Dell EMC PowerScale Gen 6 nodes in a customer-provided rack, it's crucial to ensure that the rack has a full earth ground and is securely bolted to the floor. Proper grounding is essential for safety and to prevent electrical issues, while securing the rack ensures stability and reduces the risk of tipping or movement, especially when heavy equipment is installed. While having PDUs, power distribution units, on opposite sides of the rack and leveling the rack are important considerations. Ensuring proper grounding and stability of the rack are fundamental safety requirements that must be verified prior to installation. A platform engineer has added an F200 node to a Dell EMC PowerScale cluster. The cluster now has 5 F200 nodes. Before leaving the site, what action must the engineer perform? A. Verify the node LNN is set to 1. B. Smart fail the node and rejoin the cluster. C. Reboot the node and wait for a green status. D. Ensure the install base record is updated. The correct answer is B. Because to ensure that each power supply on each node provides power equally, the best practice is to connect each power supply to a different power distribution unit, PDU. This configuration ensures redundancy and load balancing between the power supplies, providing equal power input to each node. By cabling the power supplies to separate PDUs, in case one PDU fails, the other PDU can still supply power, thus maintaining the node's operation. The other options are incorrect because A. Run the ISI config and change the settings in the config subsystem. There is no specific setting in the ISI config that directly affects power supply load balancing across PDUs. C. Use the IDRAC settings on each node to disable the hot spare feature. IDRAC is used for out-of-band management, and disabling the hot spare feature doesn't achieve load balancing of power supplies. D. Run the ISI set-N command to change the power supply behavior. There is no such ISI set-N command related to power supply behavior. A platform engineer is tasked with adding F600 nodes to an existing Dell EMC PowerScale cluster. After racking and stacking the F600 nodes, they determine that the cluster contains X210 and H400 nodes. What should the platform engineer consider? A. H400 nodes cannot coexist with the F600 nodes in the same cluster. B. The F600 must use InfiniBand for internal network communication. C. F600 nodes cannot coexist with X210 nodes in the same cluster. D. The cluster must be upgraded to Ethernet back-end topology. The correct answer is D. Because the F600 nodes in Dell EMC PowerScale clusters require an Ethernet back-end topology for internal network communication. If the existing cluster contains X210 and H400 nodes, it is possible that they were using an InfiniBand back-end, which is supported for older nodes. However, the F600 nodes do not support InfiniBand and require an Ethernet-based backend. Therefore, the platform engineer must upgrade the entire cluster's internal back-end network to Ethernet to allow seamless communication between all nodes, including the new F600 nodes. This ensures compatibility and high performance for internal cluster operations. A. H400 nodes cannot coexist with F600 nodes. This is incorrect. H400 and F600 nodes can coexist, provided the back-end network requirements are met. B. The F600 must use InfiniBand for internal network communication. This is incorrect because F600 nodes use Ethernet, not InfiniBand. F600 nodes cannot coexist with X210 nodes. This is incorrect. F600 and X210 nodes can coexist in the same cluster, provided the proper back-end networking is configured. A platform engineer is replacing a compute node in a Dell EMC PowerScale Gen 6 cluster. Which command should they use to power off the node? A. ISI status Q. B. ISI status H. C. Shutdown P now. D. Shutdown H now. The correct answer is D. Because the correct command to power off a compute node in a Dell EMC PowerScale Gen 6 cluster is shutdown H now. This command initiates a clean shutdown of the node, halting the system safely. Here's why the other options are incorrect. A. ISI status Q. This command is used to check the cluster status in a quick format. It does not perform power-off actions. B. ISI status H. Similar to the previous command, this provides cluster status information, not a shutdown. C. Shutdown P now. This command is typically used on some Unix systems to power off a system completely, but it's not the recommended command for PowerScale clusters. Using shutdown H now is the proper and consistent approach for halting the system safely without ambiguity. Which statement is accurate regarding Dell EMC PowerScale hardware platforms? A. Gen 6 node hardware comes only in 4U rack mountable chassis. B. Gen 6.5 F200 nodes come in 4U rack mountable chassis. C. Gen 6 node hardware comes in 2U or 4U rack mountable chassis. D. Gen 6.5 F600 nodes can only be added as node pairs. The correct answer is A. Because Dell EMC PowerScale's Gen 6 hardware platforms are designed with a 4U rack mountable chassis, each housing 4 nodes. What step should be performed when testing connectivity between a Dell EMC PowerScale cluster and an NFS client? A. Map a drive to the default IPS share on the cluster. B. Ping the DNS server used by the cluster from PuTTY. C. Create an NFS export and mount it on the NFS client. D. In a web browser, type the cluster name and press Enter. The correct answer is C. Because when testing connectivity between a Dell EMC PowerScale cluster and an NFS client, you need to verify that the NFS service is functioning correctly and that the client can communicate with the cluster. The correct step is to create an NFS export on the cluster and then mount it on the NFS client. This test confirms that the NFS service is accessible and properly configured. Here's why the other options are incorrect. A. Map a drive to the default IPS share on the cluster. This applies to SMB, CIFS shares for Windows clients, not for testing NFS connectivity. B. Ping the DNS server used by the cluster from PuTTY. While pinging the DNS server could verify basic network connectivity, it doesn't test the NFS service specifically. D. In a web browser, type the cluster name and press Enter. This action may open the web-based administrative interface, but it doesn't test NFS protocol connectivity.